And maybe you can already put in the chat where you're at right now and maybe where you're from. Some people are from the same place that they're at, but where are you right now? So we have an idea of the geographical diversity. Sofia, Bulgaria, Latvia, cool. Macedonia, yeah, there we Brinda from India. The Netherlands, okay, Kuala Lumpur, okay, cool. Yeah, so put in the chat where you're from, so we have a little bit of an idea. So I like this international vibe, so. Okay. And for the ones who just joined, we are recording this. So if you don't want to be in the recording, please turn off your video. If you have questions, please put them in the chat, or we are not with a very big group. You can also unmute yourself because I like this to be very interactive. Yes, then I think we can start. So welcome. Welcome to this webinar about more flow in your business, an intuitive approach to business. Yeah, this is a co-production actually between Environmental and Business Intuition, my company. So, and Joanna is from Environmental. So Joanna, maybe you can say a few sentences about Environmental.
Thank you, Martijn. Welcome everyone. It's lovely to see some very familiar faces and some new ones that I'm looking forward to connect with. It's for me very exciting that with Martijn we are collaborating already for I think second year, and we're creating events together both online and offline. We met a few years ago when actually Martijn really supported me to start with Environmental, to give it a direction, and also it was amazing for me because the way we started working together was that suddenly I found a coach who was not asking me what's your mission and vision and values, but did this very weird exercises to connect to the soul of the company. So whoa, I'm not into this. I'm not into astrology, but somehow what we did it surpassed my resistance and actually supported me to really connect to what I'm doing, to the soul of my company. And then I said, okay, I really want to bring that to other people who are in business and also just like me struggling to make a step or with stuckness or to scale. So we are very happy to collaborate with Martijn and Business Intuition to do some webinars so we can share pieces of that beautiful knowledge, and also offline where we offer in the Netherlands retreats where business people can come and meet and actually co-create together and give space for their intuition, their well-being, and exploring deeply the systems and all the invisible dynamics that are taking place. So this is from me. Thank you for joining, and I'm really looking forward to this webinar.
Yes, thank you. It's an interesting always how we cooperate, and you would come up with an idea and I come with an idea. Very in flow, actually, I would say. Okay, let me also share a little bit about myself. Yeah, the problem is that I have some black bars, but I don't know how it happens. So I try to minimize them. I'm looking into this, but more flow in your business. Yeah, a little bit about myself. Born in 1970, I turned 55 this month. I went to the United States for a year, stayed with a host family, went to high school, which was a very good experience and also made me aware of the international world and how to look at my own country from a different perspective. Then I went and studied for management and organization at the University of Groningen here in the Netherlands. And I worked for IBM for 3 years because, well, I'm not really a big, huge corporate guy. So then this was the small firm where I worked for 10 years, coaching and consulting entrepreneurs and small, medium enterprises. And that's where I learned, or I really got in love maybe with entrepreneurship, with, well, innovation, with all these dynamics. In the meantime, I got married to my wife for 26 years now. And oh, it's even 27 or something. And I got two daughters. They're 24 and 22 right now. And then in 2007, I started my own company because with Syntense, where I was this consultant, I found that I wanted to do more with this deeper undercurrent because I learned all kinds of methods, models, theory about how businesses can thrive. But I also found out that there's more to it than just do the things that are in the book or follow a certain plan. I developed my own intuition. I did a training. I learned how to facilitate business constellations, family constellations. And that's when I found out, like, okay, if I can combine those two, this more spiritual work, this more individual personal work with my knowledge and experience with entrepreneurship and running a business, I think it's magic. And yeah, that's when I started Intuïtief Ondernemen, the Dutch for business intuition. And that's where I combine all these marketing skills, management, how do you run a business, how do you grow a business, how do you structure a business, and I combine that with psychology, non-duality, shamanism, all kinds of more spiritual modalities. And of course, constellation work. And yeah, I call it business constellations, but most of the time it's also inner parts constellations. It's constellations about the marketing. It's constellation about how to prepare for a meeting. So there are many, many applications of business, of constellations that I use. And then I wrote a book in 2020 when COVID hit. It was published, and it's been translated into English, and it's now being translated into Turkish, Korean, and also Bulgarian. So that's great. A little bit about you. We already know where you come from. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, here it goes. Can you put in the chat which struggles do you know in your business? Working too hard, or is it getting nothing done, or going crazy from all the tips and tricks on the internet because you can be overwhelmed there, or not able to be yourself, or do you feel a lot of tension in your body and your mind? Or don't you have abundance in your business life and in your life? So please in the chat, just put the numbers of what you're experiencing here. Lots of tension, no abundance, working too hard, going crazy, lots of tension, quit my corporate career, lots of tension, working too hard. Well, they go hand in hand, of course. Not being able to be myself, tension, working too hard, going crazy from all the tips, yeah. No abundance. Okay, so working too hard, no abundance, very interesting combination. Okay, thank you for sharing. So also what I see is a lot of tension in your body and mind, and that maybe also has to do with the developments in the world, but at the same time, it's also about how you run your business. So we're not going to solve all the tension in the world, but hopefully we can solve a little bit of the tension in your business. And well, what is your desire? And of course, it's all of the above, but can you maybe just pick one or two that you would like, that you are longing for? So working with ease and joy, experiencing abundance in time and money, attracting your ideal clients with ease, communicating and acting authentically, having clarity in your thoughts, feeling deeply connecting to your intuition. 1, 2, 3, 6, yeah. What if you had to pick one? Attracting new clients, working ease and joy. Oh, yeah, of course. Feeling deeply connected to my intuition. Okay. So it's about abundance. Yeah, and of course, well, I didn't just put a few here. This is what I see a lot with my clients. This is also what people come to my trainings for. Um, yeah, and abundance, of course, is a lot of people like abundance. Okay, thank you. So we're gonna, of course, in this hour, we're not gonna get everything solved, but I hope to give you some, well, thoughts, but also some tools and let you experience something that you can, well, have more abundance and more ease in your business. First, I always like to explain how I look at the world. Well, I need to move this a little bit. So here we have what we call the surface current. Everything that we can see with our five senses, or not see, but observe, because the five senses are also hearing, tasting. It's our websites, it's the money that comes in, it is, well, the prizes we win, it's like everything that's on our website, it's the numbers, it's also the stories that I tell ourselves, it's the buildings. So it's everything we think is the world. And often when we have a problem, like we don't have enough money, we create a new website or we do some social media and we try to solve it that way. A lot of the tips and tricks on the internet are also based on this, or they're mostly based on follow me, I've done this has made me successful and it will also make you successful. And I have learned that that's not true. It might be true, but it's not always. So there's no one size fits all. And I want you to be really clear about that. If you are a unique being and your company is a unique organism, and there's no one size that fits all. And that's why you need to dive a little bit deeper in what I call the conscious undercurrent. That is which is conscious, so you know about it, like you know if you feel happy or not happy, if you're tension in your body or not. Your worldview, how do you look at the world? Do you think, okay, you need to work hard in order to make money, or do you also think, well, I deserve money just without working? All these beliefs, stories you tell yourself, I'm not good enough, or I'm good enough, I'm a very good entrepreneur, I'm not a good entrepreneur. They're just stories in your head, and they become true. So choose your stories. And then there are the archetypes. There are inner parts of us that influence the way we act. And in fact, we have all archetypes, all part in ourselves. There are some are more active than others, and some are more conscious than others. So for me, example, the teacher is very present right now. Maybe also the teacher and the preacher. But also have an adventurer in me, which made me go to Bulgaria like 10 years ago. And I also have like this entrepreneur in me. I have the money keeper. So there are many aspects in me. But I also have a bully in me. And here we go more to the subconscious undercurrent. So that's what we are not aware of. Here, there are stories we don't tell, but also archetypes we parts of ourselves we don't really like. So for me, for example, it's the one that gets mad, that gets frustrated. Maybe it's like the perpetrator energy in myself. Well, I get more and more used to it, but I tend to keep that underneath the surface, or maybe even in the cellar of my house. Untold stories, family stories, business stories, stories in your lineage. So they influence the way we do business. All the invisible energetic connections, actually everything is connected in the world, and some connections are influencing us in a way that we need to be aware of it in order to make success in the surface current. And then we have the three forces from the systemic work. It's the systems want to be whole, so every time we exclude something, for example, a part of ourselves, well, there's going to be tension in the surface current. There's an order, a natural order in systems, and every time we don't acknowledge this order, there will be tension and issues in the surface current. And balance of giving and taking. Giving and taking needs to be balanced. So pricing, for example, needs to balance the giving and taking. And whenever you take more or you give more, and especially a lot of well, givers, I think, are here. Even if you give more, you give somebody a debt, and you don't want to do that. So it's not nice to give too much. Maybe take that in. If you give too much, you're giving somebody else a debt. And the only place where you can give is with your children. So with children, we give to our children, and the children give to their children and to their children. So it is, and if you don't have children, then you give sometimes to the world. My uncle and aunt, they went to Africa, to Cameroon, and they help children there. So that's also a way of giving the unconditional love that you get in your life. But in business systems, and also in friendship systems and in relationships, if you give too much, you are giving the other one a debt. And then at the bottom is the source, and this flows all the way up to the service current. Sorry. And the more clean you are in this conscious and subconscious undercurrent, the more freely this source can flow into your life, in your service current life. Meaning that there is unity, that there is wholeness, that you're connected with your soul purpose, you're connected with people around you, but also with the planet, with the animals, because we're all one in this source. And that's why I really like this work, because it helps to create a world where we are acting from this place of unity instead of division. And we're doing business not because we want to make ourselves rich, but because we want to contribute, we want to connect, we want to bring all this source energy in the world. And that's what all these different methods also do. And that's why I like to do this more intuitive entrepreneur approach. And this is how I visualize intuition. It's a direct access to the source and also to the undercurrents. Are there any questions about this? Let me see if there's something in the chat. Okay. So what is intuition? Let's put in the chat what you think is intuition. Or maybe you can just unmute, that's also okay. I'll just stop sharing. So what is intuition for you?
For me, it's a combination of the gut feeling, so the intelligence and the connection to the source.
Okay, so it's a gut feeling, a connection with the source. I see deep knowing, a sense of knowing that comes from within, connected to the soul, yourself. We don't learn this at school, right? There's not like, how do you use your intuition? Anybody else? Yeah, so it's gut feeling, you say. There's knowing, inner knowing, soul. Okay. And the way I look at intuition is that there are 6 channels of intuition. So there's one more. Oh. Yeah, inner knowing and interconnection. Yeah. So one of the channels is seeing. And it's interesting because many people don't mention that, but then when we do an exercise, people see that, okay, yeah, I also have this seeing. It's like when you close your eyes, the visualizations that people do, like imagine something, imagine your life after 10 years, or you can also ask your intuition, give me an image of my marketing, and you get an image. But not everybody gets them. But many people actually, more than they think, have this seeing channel, I call it. Then we also have the feeling channel. And we need to be aware that that's not your gut feeling. Your gut feeling is all messed up by emotions, by pain from the past, by longings, by wanting. So you need to be aware of that. What you feel in your gut is not your intuition. You need to go beyond that. So you need to be aware of yeah, what are my anxieties? What are my longings? So, for example, if I am invited to go to Bulgaria, I would say immediately yes, because I'm so excited about it. But that's just because I like to go to places. I like to travel. It's not because my intuition tells me. So then you need to calm down and sense through this gut feeling to your pure intuitive feeling, which is much softer. It's much uh, it's much less dense, it's much lighter, and it's instant. And then we also have the knowing, an inner knowing, which is not your thinking. But it enters your body, or at least I notice it in my head. So it's this insight, the flesh. It is also again lighter, more instant. It's not repeating itself and going into circles. So it's very good to realize, to distinguish the feeling from the gut feeling, the intuitive feeling from the gut feeling, and the intuitive knowing from the thinking. And then you also have the hearing channels. That's where you get sounds, words, voices in your head. You're not crazy. It's information from your intuition. And we also have smelling and tasting. So you might smell something or you taste something, which is intuitive information. So that's why I call it clear seeing, clear feeling, clear knowing, hearing, smelling, and tasting. And in English, they make it very beautiful French. And then it becomes almost psychic, but you're psychic. Everybody's psychic. So that's what I learned when I did a year of intuitive training, is that everybody has these intuitive senses. And some are more developed than others. So for me, it's the clairvoyance, it's the clairsentience, and the claircognizance. And I'm working on the clairalience, the smelling. And for others, it's more that they're more clairaudient, so more the hearing. So it's good for yourself to realize what is more present in your intuition. I get a question from Brenda. Sometimes I ask myself if something that I feel is an impulse or an inside gut. How can we tell the difference? Yeah, because your intuition is also not your instinct. So your instinct can give you an impulse to mostly flight or fight or freeze or please. That's actually the fourth F, which is a P, the please. So your instinct is really to protect yourself, and it's a very basic reptilian brain action. So the question is, this impulse, where is it coming from? Is the impulse coming from this instinct of fighting or fleeing or pleasing? Is it coming from your fears or your longings? So it's both ways, like I will really want this or I really don't want this. And here you see also that I'm taking a deep sigh. It's like, okay, so, or is it coming from beyond that? Yes, Brenda, can I ask your question?
Yeah, it's impulse from something that is exciting. Like I want to do this because it makes me feel happy, and not necessarily fight or flight.
No, okay. So if it's exciting, that could be, you're longing. I would really want to do this. So exciting. Some people say, you have to do what you like and what you get excited from. And for me, at least, it doesn't work, because then I have to do everything, because I always get excited. So it really is something to explore for yourself. Is this excitement an intuitive excitement? But then which of the channels is that? Is that the hearing? Is it the knowing? So excitement is not a very intuitive information, actually. So let's see if we can do something. Yeah, then we have, of course, Esther says that I think the human design profile here is very helpful. Yeah, I work also with human design. If you don't know anything about it, Google human design profile and you dive into a world that's very interesting. But it's also different for different types of people, and the human design can really help you to get more information about your type and who you are and how you work. But then again, the intuition in the human design is more instinct than intuition. So that's also good to realize. So why don't we do a small exercise so that you can learn a little bit about your intuition? Yeah, I'll stop the sharing. I'll highlight myself. Yeah, Brindo, you want to say something?
Yeah, Martin, it just has occurred to me. I don't know if this sounds right, but maybe the way I see the difference, intuition or impulse is associated with an emotion. Intuition is not necessarily associated with an emotion. That's what comes to
Yeah,
me.
that makes sense. Actually, it's not associated with emotion. So intuition is very clear. That's why we call it clear seeing or clear feeling. So it is a very clear information, and then sometimes within nanoseconds, we have an emotion or we have a thought about it. So it's also the invitation to stretch the time between your intuitive information and the thinking and the feeling about it. So it's really stretching this to 1 second, 2 seconds, maybe even 5 minutes or maybe a day. But first it's about seconds. It's like, okay, this is my impulse or this is my intuition, and then something else comes. Most of the time there's no emotion attached to intuition.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So in order to access your intuition, we do need to calm down, and we do need to go inside. So I really would like to invite you to take a deep breath, close your eyes, move your attention inwards. All my words and all the words that you've heard, just let them flow by. And focus inwards. For me, it helps to focus on my breathing. Where do I feel the breathing in my body? And then you breathe out, and you make the out breath twice as long as the in breath. So 3 counts in, and then 6 counts out, or 4 and 8. It's a very easy way of telling your body it's safe, you're okay, you can open up for your intuition. And when you breathe out, you can, surrender to gravity a bit more, relax. It's also good to be aware how present are you. Can you become more present, more in your body, more in the here and the now? And when you have a thought, it's perfectly okay. You just don't go along with the thought like a train. You don't step on the train and travel everywhere. You stay on the platform and the thought just passes by. And you focus on your body again. Then it's good to really ground yourself. So feel your feet on the ground, connect your feet with the earth. Do it in your own way. I also like to make a cord from my tailbone into the earth. And then when I let go, I just let energy or whatever colors or sounds go through this cord into the earth. It's also good to connect the crown, the top of your head, with the universe, the source, all there is. And I like to have my own space, my own energy bubble, my own aura, whatever name you like to call it. So it's your space. I also like to move my hands a little bit around it. So to really own my space. Especially if you work with others or if you're in a train, it's good to have your own space. And then I would like you to think of, well, a goal you have, something you want to do, or maybe have more peace in your life, or like you said, or more abundance, or smaller, like, okay, I have a meeting tomorrow, I want to prepare, or so something that you would like to use your intuition for, an issue or preparation for something, or something very big in your life, which is perfectly okay. And breathe in, breathe out, because thinking of it might already get some tension in your body, which is okay. Just breathe in and breathe out and allow the tension to be. The best way to stick to a feeling is to ignore it, to suppress it. And allowing it will give it more space. Ground yourself really well, so pay attention to your feet again. And then let your body lead you to this place inside your body where it's really quiet. Yeah, there are different places people like to go, but just let your body guide you. Could be your heart, your belly. Some say in the middle of your head, between your ears, and right in the middle between your eyes. The cross, there is this intuitive center. But some people like to go to their big toe, which is perfectly okay. Let your body guide you. And there in this quiet place, you ask the question, what would it take to, and then whatever you want to reach, whatever goal you have. So what would it take? Dear intuition, what would it take? And here the first flash of information, being a thought, being a feeling, being an image, smell, taste, sound. And don't think yet about it. Just the first flash of information. What was it? Was it an image? Did you get a sound? Can you ask for a sound? Do you hear a sound? So we're going to explore this first flash. So we're going to stretch it up a little bit more. What would it take? You can ask it again. What would it take? And see if you're going to get an image. Can you get a knowing? What would it take to get abundance? Make the meeting successful? What would it take? And it's good to check the different channels, because then you also know, oh, this feeling, is it a gut feeling or not? Well, if you get an image, maybe it adds information. Or maybe when you have a sound, it gives you information. And you don't have to understand it yet, because that's what we do. Oh, I don't understand, so I just ignore it. No, it's important information. Your intuition is telling you something really important. It's telling you in her or his own language. So also feel the gratitude for your intuition by giving you the information, even though you think this is just a lot of nonsense, but I don't understand it. So, and you might just open your eyes a little bit and write it down, or maybe make a drawing or drawing of your body and note where you sensed what. What would it take? And then you might even explore this image or the sound a little bit more. Make the image into a video. Ask the sound, so where does the sound come from? Who does it belong to? Or if the sound goes into an image, what would it be? Or if the sound creates a feeling, or if we make the sound like very long, what kind of song would it be? So explore it in a very creative way. Just be curious what this information will tell you. What would it take to? write it down, draw it, and look at it so every now and then. Because maybe tomorrow or this afternoon or after a good night of sleep, you see, oh, now I know what it means. So that's also with intuition. You need to practice, you need to learn the language of your intuition. And intuition is also an archetype. It's also an inner part. And like all other parts, we need to be very, very gentle and friendly with this part. And also, if we say we're going to listen to you, then you need to listen to it. Otherwise, it's like, okay, I have a deal with you, and then you break the deal. So what do you want to tell your intuition? How do you want to communicate with your intuition? What would you like to, what kind of deal would you like to make with your intuition? And make sure that you can live up to that deal, that you can do what you promised. So maybe you say every day I'm going to check in, or maybe every week. So thank your intuition, and then, well, stretch a little bit, wiggle with your toes or in your hands, and then open your eyes again. And if you want to like to share something, put it in the chat, but you don't have to. But if you feel like sharing it in the chat, go ahead. Yeah, and developing your intuition, well, the first year that I did was only letting go, releasing, do a whole lot of shitty things to release all kinds of stress, traumas. And I really had a beautiful youth, but there's always traumas, things that are in my body. So it was a lot of releasing instead of, oh, now I'm going to learn how to listen to my intuition. It was more releasing than, so it was really developing. It's really uncovering your intuition because it's already there. When you're born, you're intuitive. And some people cut off their intuition because, well, they were punished for it or not understood. But others develop their intuition, but then from anxiety and to make it safe because they didn't know if father was gonna hit them or not, or if mom was gonna be there or not. So out of the unsafety, you created intuition, and that's also a little bit. You need to really separate this unsafety issue from your intuition to make it pure again. Let me see. I had tension in my body which softened over the time, and I saw drums and vibing happening at the end. Okay, so interesting. So, and you will see that if you, well, for example, keep a diary, an intuition diary, you might recognize some patterns. When I see the drums, it means this. When I have this shivering, it means that. If I see blue, it means this for me. For me, the intuition is mostly knowing a thought that's quick and flash, sometimes an image. Images, flashes, yeah. So these flashes, it's interesting to stretch them. So if you get an image flash, stay with the image and ask, okay, so what other information is there? And I say images a lot because images help you a lot because they are less connected with emotions, less connected with your thinking. So that's why the images are, and they're more easily to understand than for example, smell. The word teacher, triangular, ruler, sound of Tibetan bowls was present, very random. Yeah, it's very random, but maybe it's not. So the thought it's very random, well, it's not helping. So tell your intuition, thank you for this. And I'm not sure what it means yet, but I'm going to find that out and please help me. So maybe also during the day or the next few days, ask your intuition to show you what is the connection between the three. Okay? So that's about the hearing. Then when you work intuitively, it's moving inside and outside. So first, you need to look at the inner parts that you have maybe put away, the stories that are not helping you, the traumas that we all have, looking at our family system, all kind of inner work. And that's also what we're going to do in the training. I also have yeah, we pay attention. We pay attention to this kind of work that needs to be done. But then we also go outside. We move into what kind of marketing works for you, what kind of sales, how can you be visible? And then maybe by being visible, you need to move back again. Oh, I need to look inside again. What kind of partners do you want to work with? So here we have the company system, your company system, but also the industry you're working in, the supply chain you're working in. So first, from a systemic point of view, we're going to look at that. But you need to be aware that if you want to do more marketing, you might want to move inside first before you go outside. And it's also about moving up and down. So it is about, let me put this down. Your soul's purpose. We already talked a little bit about that. Why are you here on earth? I think there's something larger that we're part of. And if you can connect with that and surrendering to it, then it's much easier to do your work because you're already surfing a wave that's there. But you might also have to look at past lives. You might have to look into dreams, the dreams you have, but also the dreams you have and the dreams you have when you sleep. So this is all about going up, going, well, more into the spiritual realm. And then, of course, we also need to go down. We need to take action. We need to ground things, manifest it. Here again, the company system comes into view, and other systems that there are in your life. Because we have a body and we are on Earth, there is something that we need to do here. So we need to manifest things on Earth. And some people, especially the more spiritual people, they are in dreams, they are in surrendering and soul purpose and all kinds of spiritual things. Yeah, but abundance is also about abundance of physical things like money, house, but also like relationships, and that's all in this 3D world. So what kind of intuitive techniques do we have? Let me just put them all here. Sound bowls. I think next week, the 15th, we have from the Intuitive Trainer Network, the European Network of Intuitive Trainers, we have a webinar about sound and intuition. So it can help you to come into a certain state with it, and with the sound. Mantras also work, and they help you to tune into this source or go a few layers deeper. Then we have meditation, where there's meditation and visualization. Meditation is really becoming certain state, like not knowing not anything. And visualization is that you ask your intuition for information in images or in movies. So most of the time I use the meditation to get in a state that I can ask my intuition. Cards, you can use cards like intuition cards and you pull a card and it gives you information. Writing, some people like the journaling. There are all kinds of techniques like with the meditation, and then you put a point and then the point turns into a line and the line into words, and then just write. And there is constellations in the top right corner. You can do it for yourself with papers on the floor. It's a very powerful technique to heal yourself, but also very powerful to get intuitive information about your business. And of course, there are many more techniques. These are just a few I use. I also use release techniques like the Sedona method. It's a very powerful method to let go. And well, a lot of that we have to do is letting go before we can tap into our intuition. But also running or being active helps you to tap into your intuition. Dancing, being creative, painting or whatever creation you do. Hiking, being in nature, gardening. They're all techniques, but actually they're just activities that you can do. If you do them mindful and you really are present, then it's really a good technique to tap into your intuition. So I would say you can also draw a painting based on a question, Or you have a question about your business and you start going for a walk and ask nature to give you information. Or you dance and you dance the movement of the answer and you ask your intuition, can you show me in this dance what is needed for me? Or you go running, and after the running, most of the time you're in a certain state and you ask your intuition, what would it take? Yeah, Esther says, I think sometimes it depends on how relaxed you can get. For the first time, I started hearing downloads very clearly whilst receiving a nice and slow message. Yeah. So it's really about slowing down your brain. It's about tapping more into your right hemisphere of your brain. And that's why, well, on my website, I have 3 meditations that help you to get into that stage, a 5-minute, 10-minute, and a 20-minute, I think. So yeah, find a way to calm down your body, calm down your mind, and go into this relaxed state, because yeah, that's when you can tap into your intuition. And it's interesting because with this intuitive trainer network, there's this guy from Belgium, Geert, and he says all this silence and all this going into myself. For me, it works when I'm very active, when I'm talking, and when I'm talking more, for me, the words then come and then they become intuitive words. So again, maybe 80% of the people will need to calm down, but other 20 might need to become active, and in the action, the intuition will come. Okay. Where can you use it for, or what can you use it for? Of course, you can use it for personal issues, but here we're looking at how to create more flow in your business. And if you tap into your intuition for all these aspects of your business, you will get answers that create flow instead of stuckness. They will, because they come from this place of this non-duality place where we're all one, and they're connected with your soul. So all these messages that you get from your intuition will help you to create something that is sustainable, that is connected with the whole, that's also giving you abundance. But abundance might not be that you have a lot of money all the time, but it can also be that you're very happy, that you have a lot of positive emotions, and yeah, also money. But I've also seen that for some people, abundance shows up in a different way than for other people. So it's also good to realize that if you don't have abundance in your life, it doesn't mean that you're not tapped into your intuition, or that your karma is not good, or that's, for me, that doesn't work like that. So it's really time and again about tapping into your intuition and checking, what is my first next step? What would it take? And then taking that step. So time management is also an interesting one. How can you decide what to do when? And how do you know what is the right timing for things? Because every time has a different energy. Like today, now is a different energy than tonight. For me, but also for you. So there is a right timing of things. It also has to do with a rhythm. Everything has a rhythm. There are cycles. There is a breathing in, breathing out. And following this rhythm also makes life more effortless and gives flow in your business. So yeah, let's do that. We're gonna do a rhythm exercise. Let me pin myself again. So I want you to stand up. Stand up. Again, first, focus inwards again. Maybe you want to touch your body a little bit too. It really helps to become more present in your body. During the training, we'll get more exercises that you can learn how to become more present in your body. But for now, just tap your body, feel your feet on the ground. Straighten your spine. Bend your knees just a little bit, that they're not tight. And sense in your body if there's any tension. And then just breathe in the tension. And breathe out, and then surrender to gravity. if you feel a lot of tension, you can also ask the tension, what is the information you have for me? But that's, well, just a little sidestep. And then I would like you to connect with something that's on your plate, like a to-do item, or maybe like a relationship or some product that you want to create, or maybe a business you want to create, or something that you want to put into the world. And you're wondering, do I need to take action, or is it time for me to be patient and wait a little bit? And we're going to use our body information, our intuitive information through the body to get an answer there. So when you connect to this thing you want to put in the world, or this action or this to-do item, first feel the breathing in your body. And when you breathe in, maybe make yourself a little bit bigger and lean a little bit forward. It's more like this action energy. And maybe even like use your hands to go outwards. And then when you breathe out, you lean back a little bit. You relax and you lean a little bit back. Breathing in, leaning forward, becoming active again. Breathing out in your own pace, you relax. And now you ask the question, this to-do item, does it need this energy, this breathing in energy, action, or does it need breathing out, patience, relax, let go? Is it more connected to the breathing in, or is it more connected to the breathing out? Or doesn't it matter? Sometimes it really doesn't matter. But sometimes it's very clear, oh yeah, it's more, I really need to do something here. I really need, and maybe even like I really need to take a decision here. I really need to, to put some action into it. Or, whoa, no, I really need to slow down. And immediately your mind might think, yeah, but then I don't have enough money, or then I cannot do this, or how I've promised this to do this tomorrow, or but listen to your intuitive information through your body. Let me see if we not for now, but what you can also do is just this breathing out, breathing in, and then you ask yourself, what in my business requires this breathing in, and what in my business requires the slowing down. So it's also a way of finding out where to put the action in your business and where to put the relaxation. But let's sit down again. We just have 1 hour. But fortunately, June 3rd to 6th, I'm coming to Ommen in the Netherlands. And there we have 4 days to work on intuition and intuitive entrepreneurship. Okay. Yes, but I'm gonna go through all this. Oh, this is a little bit too fast. Let me put it like this. So if there are any questions, let me know. Oh yeah, maybe the one I would like to, because during the training we're gonna work with these, what I call success accelerators from my book. So these are the topics that we're going to cover, and I think these are also things that are important for you to realize. So it's about looking in the mirror, going inside. It's about surrendering to larger forces, larger flows that are already there. It's looking at customers, how to get more clients, but in a different way. Money, but then money is a heart. Time, and you see it's not evenly divided in the clock. And of course, taking action. It's also about going outward. Yeah, this is too much for now. So if you want to do more, you can buy the book. There are also some discount coupons in it, so it's a good way, a good investment, I would say. And there are many examples and exercises. So it's not a theory book, it's more like a really practical book. And then together with environmental, I organize the training, and I call it 3 to 6, but you arrive on the 2nd and you leave on the 7th. So it's the 2nd to the 7th in Ommen in the Netherlands. It's very countryside of the Netherlands, but still only an hour and a half from Amsterdam. So we're not a big country. There you're going to develop and harness pure intuition. So we're going to learn more about intuition. How does it work for you? You're going to surrender and create effortless business growth. So it's really about growth in the broader sense. So taking your business to the next level. You're going to learn intuitive tools and methods that you can utilize right away and that you can also take home with you. Like, well, now we did 2 exercises, you get many more there. And when you're going to align your passion and purpose in your work. So you're going to also find out how can you bring more passion in your work and make it more effortless, more in flow. And the good thing I also like is it's an international training with like-minded, I call them changepreneurs, people that want to contribute something to the world, want to, well, be the change they want to see in the world. And it's really great to be with like-minded people like that. Barbara from Denmark, but actually from Chile, said it's revealing and transformative experience. That I'm connected with the source and guiding the group in a gentle yet profound flow of work. Yeah. So if you want to have a journey of self-discovery, yeah. So it's not a very theoretical, how do I write a business plan training. It's really bringing in yourself, but also we're also going to look at the business and marketing and how to get more clients. So it's a transformational journey for yourself and your business. You learn an intuitive approach to business. Effortless, creating impact, energy, fun, and going deep at the same time. And you get a lot of techniques, not only constellation work, but also visualizations, energy work, embodiment, release techniques, and they're all business related. So they're not business related, but we relate them to the business. But of course, you are also part of your business. A new approach, I created a grounded space and you will get tools that will be of use long after the session is finished. So that's also good to realize. Yeah, we have affordable rooms in the guest house. You also get access to the online library with the tools and background information, so that you can have access after the training, not for 1 year or 1 month, but just as long as I have this website online, then you can use it. And as a bonus, I can give you like the Discover the Power of Business Constellations. It's an online workshop, 2 workshops actually that I've recorded, and you get access to that. Normally 50 euros. So yeah, Christina from Romania, she joined the training in Romania. For her, it was really a major business moment. She was really a milestone also in her personal growth. I'm feeling free now. So that can happen in 4 days. If you work really intuitively, it creates a really transformation in you and also in your business. Depending on where you start, you will take the next step or maybe the next 2 steps. I also have the global attendance service for people that don't have the time or don't have the money. Well, if you don't have the time, you need to create the time. But for people because I work with people from all over the world, and well, some people are very rich and have enough money, and other people have a little more difficulty. So contact me, and if you have enough money, then you also contribute to this fund. So that's very good to know that you are making it possible for people all over the world to join this training and other trainings. Okay, Joanna, is there anything you would like to add about the training?
I would like to just share that if there are any questions, I'm very happy to answer. Also, if there is a need for short call, anything practical. In the chat already, you can see the link to more information. And also after this webinar, I'm going to send you the recording that you can watch and some more information if you want to join us, if you want to join us for in June, you're very welcome.
Yes. So I would say for now, because it's already time, I would say thank you. But if you want to stay and have some questions, then this is also the right moment to do that, because I'm still here, Joanna is still here. But if you feel like, well, I need to go on with, because I'm busy, maybe you need to stay and slow down. But feel free to go. Thank you so much, and hope to see you somewhere online, offline. And great to have you here. And if there are questions, then this is the time to start asking them. Just unmute yourself.